everyone. Today's guest, we have Nakia Thomas here, who is a real estate investor and a real estate agent here in New Jersey. And not just doing business in New Jersey, but doing business nationwide. So we're going to be talking about a lot of different topics, how we can get into business and just create more systems to help each other in 2025. And yeah, giving back and helping people along the way. So please help me welcome Nakia to the show.
Thank you, Christina.
Thank you
it's
for
good
coming.
To be here.
Yes. So quick tip. So just like a background, we actually started 2025 all together on New Year's Day, doing a cold plunge.
Super exciting.
Yeah. We figured let's start off the New Year doing something hard.
Right.
And that was really difficult. But what I would say is she went in the first time and went 5 minutes straight, which was incredible. So
thank you. Yeah. I'm still like, oh my God, I really did 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Twice.
Twice. Back to back, no stopping.
Yeah.
But it really taught me a lot about like just the mindset, right? And like that's kind of what you were saying too, was just like, it's all mindset. You kind of prepared your mind for it before you got there also.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can elaborate on that, just like the power of your mind, how you kind of got through that and like pretty much carry on to your business too.
Yeah, for sure. I would definitely say mindset is everything, no matter in what you do in life. It's like how you conquer it first by conquering it in your mind. Yeah. So literally on the ride to the cold plunge, I was listening to Dan Martell and like Alex Hermosi. And they are big on like mindset and like just doing the effing work, like just doing it. So I kind of like prepare myself like no matter what, no matter how cold it is, no matter how bad it is, I can do this, I can, you know, so I kind of like prepare myself mentally. So it was cool. And you have to do that in real estate as well, or just life period. And I didn't learn that until like literally a couple of years ago, because I was like one of the most, I don't want to say, I was very shy. Yeah? Yes, I didn't like crowds. Really? I felt extremely uncomfortable talking to people that I didn't know. Oh. Yes. So I did PACE event in April of 2024. Mm-hmm. And it was like the scariest thing for me. Really? It's like weird. Like what the hell? Yeah, it's just like, it's people. That's it. Yeah. But it was so overwhelming. Like the first day when I got there, I'm like, oh my God, this is so much. Like I had to go to my room early. I'm like, get over it. It's just talk to people. Like just get over it. But that was a huge turning point for me. Mm-hmm. Like just in business period. Just like putting myself out there, talking to different people, doing things that I'm afraid of and uncomfortable of. So yeah. Yeah.
So just like having more conversations and being comfortable with having like conversations with anybody, right?
Confidence, for sure.
And confidence. And I'm sure that helps too with like being in real estate, right? Like we're having tons of conversations with people, with sellers, with different scenarios. So being able to talk to them when they might feel uncomfortable in that same way, right?
Right, yeah.
So how has that helped, like just pretty much, because you do a lot in New Jersey, but also out of state. So not having that like actual face-to-face presence, like how have that helped you like actually close deals and get things done when you're working from out of state?
Just connecting with people and building rapport, like is super, super helpful. And oddly enough, I didn't think it would be as easy to like close people over the phone. But it's ironically, I've closed more deals in Cleveland than I have in New Jersey, wholesale deals.
Wow.
Yes. For whatever reason, I have to, not I have to, but I've converted a lot of my deals that I actually went for as wholesale deals, I converted to listings because I don't know, New Jersey's just a little bit harder, but I have to conquer that mental, right? It's probably like a mental for me, just like get over it. It's just like anywhere else.
Yeah, just like the cold match. It seems hard, but then like once you get past that first minute, it's like, oh, this is easy.
But I don't know, the people in Cleveland just seem so much nicer.
I think anytime you get out of like New York, New Jersey area, people are pleasant.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
How you doing, ma'am? And they're definitely different atmosphere.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but that's still like just figuring out like how, you know, doing business like nationwide. I feel like most of us nowadays are doing that. So do you see like any challenges behind that, like, or any obstacles that like you have to face by doing so? Or
there's definitely obstacles. I'm having a really huge obstacle. It's not really more so of rapport. It's just some of the guidelines that they have now in Cleveland. Like they have something called POS. I don't know if you know what that is. No. It's a point of sale inspection. Okay. So they literally go to the home, they do an inspection before the sale. So you have to do this before you sell the property. And they like point out every nick and cranny that they can find.
So like the state does this? Like
the city.
The city.
Yeah. So I have this one property that have 184 violations. And then you have to 184, but they're so petty. It's like, It could be like a light bulb wasn't in the ceiling and then like the light switch doesn't work. Oh, and then some can be really big. Like I have one that they needed to repair the driveway or something like that.
Right.
But it makes the deal very complicated because like, let's just say in New Jersey or anywhere else, you just sell a deal, like whatever someone takes, if they take on the responsibility of whatever it is, that's on them. But there is definitely a hurdle.
Ooh, that's interesting because like we have that here, right? We call it at least in New York, the municipality where they look to make sure there's no like open permits or anything to make sure they didn't install a bathroom in an attic illegally, right? But not like down to the lights, so like that.
It's crazy. 100 and everyone that I send this deal to, they're like, oh, it seems like a great deal. I thought it was gonna be so easy because it's like I stopped going for like the $20,000 and $30,000 properties because it's so much work and it's not enough. You know, like the assignment is very small. Yeah, so I go for more of like the suburban areas in Cleveland.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like the ARV is like 330, 350.
All right, so
and I was selling it for once a year. You're definitely getting bigger assignments. But this deal is so hard to sell because it's damn POS. You know? So it's definitely yeah. So that's one of the hurdles that I'm running into in Cleveland.
I'm sure a lot of us here would be in trouble if we had to do that.
For sure.
Or anything that you're flipping or anything. Like imagine having to go through that type of inspection where they're really nitpicking. That could really add a lot to just like unnecessary stress or obstacle on that. So that is interesting. I never knew about that. But well, like you said too, with just building rapport with people, doing business out of state too, like how are you kind of like maintaining those relationships with either sellers or contacts or whoever your team is out there? Like how are you building and maintaining that?
I definitely have boots on the ground, someone that I work with on most of my deals out in Cleveland. And I noticed too, like in wholesaling or in any type of, in real estate period, there's a lot of follow-up involved. And we are so busy throughout the day, right? It's just like so many things that you have to do and we drop the ball when it comes to follow-up.
Oh my God,
seriously. So, you know, like I literally put in my, I use follow-up balls. So I'll put a note on an account every single day, touch base with this client, and just to keep them abreast. Like maybe nothing changed at all, but it's like, hey, I'm just reaching out. Just want you to know I'm still working on this, you know, X, Y, and Z, so they don't feel like you're kind of like ghosting them or you don't know what's going on or that type of thing. It just gives them comfort.
Okay.
So yeah.
Right. To kind of just like, cause what do they say is like the truth is in the follow-up or something like that.
For sure. Yeah.
And it's true because like you're not gonna, some people will close the deal on their first call, but most of the time you need like 7, 8 contacts with somebody to actually build that relationship to feel comfortable moving forward.
Right.
So that's something that people like need to learn doing. I think people get into the business and they think like, okay, I'm gonna close 10 deals this month by just like calling 5 people. Like it's not how that is. But with that being said, it's just like, where did you like learn your knowledge? Like, are you in mentorships programs? Do you have a mentor? Like, you know, who was like kind of helping you behind the scenes with that?
Definitely, you need a mentor. I'm not gonna say you need a mentor, but it's so helpful to have a mentor, to have someone that's already done the business. That could kind of like, you can kind of like follow their blueprint. Or not only that, just being around people that are doing the business and you can see what's working for them, what's not working for them. So it's pretty much that. I joined, I'm in Brent Daniels' mentorship.
Okay.
And we have something called the virtual office. So it's people that's on like literally on a Zoom all day long and they're closing deals, they're making cold calls, they're doing their follow-ups, they're doing everything in the Zoom office. So let's just say if you're new to the business and you know absolutely nothing, that's like one of the best places to be, right? Because we're always looking for looking for answers that we can't find, because no matter how you look at it in real estate, you kind of like learn doing the work, like during the process. So I think it's super helpful to have people, you know,
involved, right? Because I think people like will join a course and they're just waiting for them to teach exact step by step what to do. And
it doesn't work that way.
That's great, right? It's great to like know that, but you have to actually do the work and actually have a community of like real life experiences. Because, right, like what's happening in Cleveland is not happening in Jersey.
Exactly.
So we have totally 2 different scenarios. So if you have a mentor or course that's just teaching you just this state specific, then who's going to help you here if you're not like, you know, there's no community, people teaching you. So.
And I definitely say networking.
Yeah.
For sure. It's one of the biggest things that's helped me. Within these past 2 years is like, like connecting with you, like, you know, it's really helpful. In the business, you have to network. I was going to more events last year, in the beginning of the year. And then my business started picking up and I kind of like got overwhelmed. So me trying to like find that balance, and then because I have a 6-year-old, it's not that easy because I kind of try to wind down after a certain time. Like I may still work online, but like being outside of the house, it may be a little difficult. But I'm gonna start, like that's one of my goals this year. One of my KPIs.
What is a KPI? Because KPIs are everything.
Yes. So one of my KPIs is going to 2 events every month.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good, because we met at an event too.
Exactly.
We met at a sub 2 event, which is great. But yeah, if you kind of like, if you put it in there, like, okay, I'm gonna go to 2, 3 a month, like the amount of contacts that you make from there, it's just like it takes one relationship to build to kind of like triple on from there. So. And
you never know, that contact can just take you to another level. You know, it's amazing. Just, you know, knowing that in your head, like I can meet someone tonight that can change my life forever.
Yes, exactly. And like some of us think like, oh, I don't want to go, or even like a small event, if it's like 10 people, like, oh, should I really be here? But it's like one person, like all you need is one person, one contact, and then like so many doors can just open from there.
For sure.
Yeah. So, well, that's good. I mean, I don't know, like 2025 is like new year, like starting fresh and everything like that, and a lot of things are like changing in our industry. Not changing, but you hear different topics. So like, do you, at least in your market where you're doing more investing and wholesaling, do you see anything changing or different like regulations that are like, you know,
things change all the time. For sure. One of the biggest things is in a lot of states, they're starting to crack down. I don't want to say crack down on wholesaling, but they're wanting you to have a license in order to be able to wholesale. So in PA,
that's
and I want to say Chicago, a couple of different places now, you actually need a license. South Carolina. You need a license to wholesale. It's crazy.
Wow. So like are they kind of switching and so you need a real estate license?
You need a real estate license to wholesale a deal.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Process it. Seriously.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a lot of changes. But I mean, in entrepreneurship, period, you have to learn to adapt to change.
Yes.
Period. Yes. As long as you can do that, you'll figure it out.
Yes. Yeah. I think with every industry, right, where there's always going to be like major changes, right, where people are going to freak out and stuff. Like even realtors, like we had the big gnarly lawsuit, and like that changed.
It freaked people out.
It freaks people out. The way we do paperwork changed. So I think it does scare a lot of people and like figuring out what they want to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you like you said, you just adapt and kind of pivot to whatever's happening.
You have to stay open-minded and you have to pivot. Like, period. You just have to figure, you know, like, okay, this isn't working anymore. Let me try it this way. Or connecting with different people to kind of see, like, what they're doing or how they're adapting to the change. Like,
right, you know? Exactly. Yeah, so everything is like, adapting to everything.
Right.
But with that being said also, because I know, like, everyone's, like, busy with their day-to-day life, and you're in real estate full-time, so how are you kind of like just balancing life, right? There's so many calls.
There's no balance.
Right. There's no such thing as balance.
Right. But, well, actually like the end of last year, I read Dan Martin, and that's why I'm like so stuck on Dan Martin, like buy your time back. Yeah. But time blocking. I've been doing a lot of that and like really, really sticking to a schedule. As entrepreneurs, we really don't understand that we have to have a schedule. And I think as soon as like you get into the business, you're no longer in the 9 to 5. It's like, okay, I'm free now. Like, you know, I can do whatever I want, but it doesn't work like that. You just cannot be productive that way. So you definitely have to create a schedule, a consistent schedule every day, because that's how you'll see yourself growing and see yourself being extremely productive. So for me, like I do all of my prospecting between 8 and 12.
Okay.
And then from about 12 to 2, 12 to 3, I'll do my follow-ups. And then most of my back-end stuff after that and other things. But I'm working on scheduling everything, literally. Like turning my notifications off, not answering calls that aren't specifically to business, you know, until I can grow my business so where I can hand things off, you know, and delegate more.
Got it. Yeah, because I find too, like when some people time block, right? Then you get a call from somebody and then that takes up an hour of your time block, right? When you're having conversations. So you kind of just like put it aside so that way no one or anything that's outside of your prospecting calls you during your prospecting time.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good tip for people that want to like really be more like productive, because I think a lot of like everyone's busy just doing things, but then like we're just
busy is not always good
Busy.
though, because for months I was busy.
Right.
Busy getting a lot of nothing accomplished, right?
Busy doing nothing.
Like, yeah, and then like at the end of the week, I'm like, what the hell did I do? Like, I was busy all day. I was really busy. I was like responding to emails and like texts and like, but no, like you have to be very intentional.
Yes.
Period. Like life period. And even I'm kind of like adapting that to my personal life as well, because you have to have a balance with that too. Like I have a 6-year-old, and then I still have house things that I have to get accomplished. It's so hard. So now I start meal prepping. You know, I have someone that, and I hate to say this, but I have someone that help me clean like once every other week.
I don't have a kid. I have someone help me clean. I'm like,
but it's just like sometimes you really have to delegate things to keep things in order and create a system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and go into that too, because you're a mother, right?
Yeah.
You have a 6-year-old. Like, how would you, I'm sure there's a lot of other women that's like, okay, I want to do real estate, but I'm a mom and I can't. Like, what would you even say for people like that have a child and still trying to build their business?
You can definitely do it, but you definitely have to create a system.
Yeah.
For sure. I don't want to say it's easy. It's definitely not easy. Nothing in real estate is easy, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
And I don't regret anything. I don't take anything back. I don't want to say I made a lot of mistakes, but I learned a lot during the way. So I have this thing now, like no L's, just lessons, you know? And I've took a lot of like financial losses, but they're still lessons.
Right. And then you can get back anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, that's good. Yeah, because I think a lot of people are like, all right, how do I do this? I have kids, I have this going on. Like, so it's never a balance, right? But like managing time, managing your expectations, other people's expectations, and they know like, okay, you can't bother me during this time. Yeah. This is my time for building. And I start having the conversation with my daughter. She's very smart for her age and she understands a lot. But she made me feel like really bad a couple of weeks ago because she wanted, so my oldest daughter moved out on her own. Oh yeah. And I think I told you. And she's like, I want to go to Brianna's house, and I'm like, okay. And then she called me and she's like, I think I'm gonna stay the weekend. And I'm like, oh, the weekend? Why? And then she was like, oh, because it's fun here. And I'm like, but it's no one there. I'm like, you can just come home with mommy. And she's like, no, you're working all the time. And I'm like, that's not true. Like, we watch movies together. We do stuff. She's like, but you're always in your computer. And that, it's stuck. It's like, okay, you really have to figure out a system and, you know, give her, like, we wind down together at night. We'll watch a movie or whatever. But you do have to have some type of balance. Right. And be, like, present when you're there. Present is the biggest thing because I can be there 24 hours, but if I'm not present, I'm not really there. Right. Right. So if you're watching a movie and you're on the computer, you're really not engaged in the movie, right? Right. Yeah. So, yeah, I think the present time, and that's good. Another good thing to point out is because like a lot of people, if they're doing and they have kids, it's definitely like a hard balance to kind of figure out. But like sometimes you do need to put it away so that you can focus on being there instead of like trying to do both at the same time, because we can't. So now I just like from 7 to 8, that's our time. You know, like I pick up from aftercare, we'll have dinner, do those things, and 7 to 8, that's her time, and then I put her down between 8 and 8:30, and then I can go off and finish doing what I'm doing before my bedtime, which is 9:30. Good, which is 9:30, right? I'm up at 4:30. Yeah, same. Yeah, well, I'm up at 5, but I have to be in bed by 9. Like, please leave me alone, put my sleep watch on. Right. Yeah. No, because sleep's important. I don't think super people realize that. It's super important. Yeah. Super There's important. A lot of things that like, there's some videos you'll see where like, oh, sleep, you're not getting it hard enough. If you're sleeping, if you're doing this, like, no, you need sleep. You definitely need sleep. Walk around like zombies. Yeah. And you can't be effective. And then there's this thing where your brain just disconnects. It's like you're so cloudy, you just can't figure anything out. So you definitely need to get to sleep. Yeah, sleep definitely. Like, I don't know about you, but sometimes if I have a lot going on midday, I'll just lay down and take a nap for 30 minutes. I'll wake back up and my mind is refreshed. I'm like, okay, now I can like do this or whatever it is. Yeah. Just like reset your mind. For sure. You definitely have to reset. And then I start doing this thing that they call brain dump at night. Like before I go to bed, like I'll kind of prepare for my tomorrow. So everything that I need to do, I kind of like put it on paper. So for tomorrow, like when I wake up and I'm journaling and I'm doing my gratitude, I'm writing down like everything that I need to accomplish, so I can kind of like check it off as I go along. So now my day is super productive because I can physically see it. Like I had
let's just say 7 things here, I accomplished 5. I feel good about it, right? Then I can hand the other 2 off for tomorrow.
Right.
So yeah, it's just learning how to be more productive.
Right. So you can see like, okay, this is how much I'm getting done. This is what I need to get done. And like you said too, you're like journaling too. So are you journaling pretty much like about how your day went, or just like any of your thoughts that you kind of just want to get out of your heads?
So when I journal, it's definitely like I start off with my win for today. Okay. Like no matter how big, how small, like, so a win could literally be like, I don't know, me signing a contract today, or something as simple as like me being consistent in my business, like whatever it is, just a win. And then I'll reflect on my day, like how it was. And I try not to put anything negative. Okay. You know, like all positive things. And sometimes you may get those days where it's just like, I had a rough day today, you know, but I did X, Y, and Z, and, you know, I kind of like got through that hurdle. And, you know, tomorrow's a new day, so.
Exactly. So people just like, if you just kind of like get it out, like some people like to write their negative things so that they can just get out of their system, and it's just like a way. But then, like...
I think it's perspective a lot of times, though. Yeah. And I try to shift that a lot. But like I said, some days you really do. Like today was rough. It was so rough. But in most cases, like I really try to change my perspective. I'm trying to give you like an example. Okay, I lost a deal last week. And I'm like, it was a really hairy deal. Someone could have took it as like, oh my God, I didn't close anything for January yet. I lost this deal, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like... I learned the lesson from it, you know, what I can do better from this situation, like what I learned from it. Like maybe I should have done this differently, or maybe I should have communicated this to her differently. You try to figure out where you went wrong, you know, to kind of like learn from it and don't make the same mistake next time. Right. But it happens.
It's all lessons. It's not like, okay, I lost out on this. It's like, it's all to improve you for the next time. Right. But with that too, because I know like there's some people like who are dibbling dabbling full time, real, you know, part time. You're in this full time, and you transition from the corporate world. So I would like, can you kind of touch on that, especially like when you lose a deal too? It's just like, how is that? Like, how has it been for you being full time real estate for over the past couple of years?
Scary. No, in the beginning, it was really, really scary. I had like a lot of anxiety, like all the time, a lot of sleepless nights. And that's why I chose to like focus on working on my mindset, like consistent. Every single day, I'm listening to something to build my mindset, you know? I think that's very important because I think I probably would have gave up if I did. No, seriously, if I didn't do that, because like that unknown, it's a very like rocky place. Yeah, super uncomfortable. But that's how you get to you have to be uncomfortable, right? To get to the next level, but it can be very scary. But I say just working on your mindset. Definitely.
Yeah, I think that's everything too. Like even with the cold plunge too, like what I noticed when we first got in, we got in together, right? I got out 27 seconds. I was like, my legs are coming off. I was like, this is not legal. I'm like, this is not real. I can't bend my legs.
He was like,
take me to the hospital.
Like, whose idea was this?
Yeah, I was like, take me to the hospital now. But you sat through it, and like what he kept saying was like, once you get past the first minute, like you're good, right? So getting past like that first hard, I'm sure the first year was hard as hell, and it could be like, all right, I need to go back because this is not it. But you just stuck through. It's like, okay, once you get past that, then the other 4 or 5 minutes just go quick, and you kind of like stop thinking about. You just train your mind like, okay, this is not, it's not real, it's temporary. But when I get out, I'm gonna feel great, right? Like we felt amazing after. After I went to sleep so good that night. But so like you just kind of sticking through. I'm sure you have like moments, but
you definitely have, and I still get moments like when things are super rough, because let's just say before I got my license and before I learned about wholesaling, I was just flipping. And I was going for months not making $1, but my life didn't stop, right? I still had expenses. I still had a 2-year-old at the time. She was going to daycare, which was $1,600 a month, you know? So it's like life doesn't stop, and it began to get really scary because now I'm like, my savings is dwindling. I'm burning up my credit because, okay, I'm going to use this instead of paying cash because I'm trying to hold on to my cash, right? I'm going to use credit, and that probably wasn't the best thing to do because now I kind of like burnt my cars up. So that's like one of my main focuses for 2025 is like paying off all of the business and personal debt so I can kind of like have that true financial freedom and then start focusing on building.
Right, exactly. So you kind of get that weight off your shoulders.
It's a huge weight,
Yeah. And I think that's important too, because like if we're investing, right, when we have all this debt that we put on our cards or wherever to invest or do flips, right, we alleviate that first, then we can focus more on building equity, doing more deals and all that stuff. So bring in true cash.
Yeah,
that's good. I mean, there's a lot of other things. Like, is there anything else that you're working on besides that? Like anything else that you're working on for this year?
There's several things that I'm working on for this year. I have several goals that I want to accomplish. One of my main goals, I'm actually going for my broker's license.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I want to do like a more investor-friendly brokerage.
Okay, nice.
That number one is definitely my credit. I want to build my wholesale business, increase the amount of deals and the amount of assignment fees. And then one of my biggest goals is, like we discussed, building that affordable community for young women that can relate to my story. Because I was a teen mom. I had my first daughter when I was 15. And a lot of things that I'm doing today, I would have never seen like then. Like if I had like this little class bubble when I was 15 and say, where would I see myself when I'm 40? Never in a million years would I have thought I would be where I am today. And I'm nowhere near where I want to be. Right. But I have come so far from where I was, like even 3-4 years ago, you know, like just having clarity of the vision of where I want to go is a huge step. It's like the compounding those small wins.
Yeah. That right there too is just having like a clear path of where you want to go, because I think a lot of people, especially like real estate, whatever industry, they're just there because like it sounds good and it's like, okay, I'm just gonna do this. But like, what is like, what are you doing it for? Like, what is the vision? What's the bigger picture? Who are you impacting? And especially that right there, like you said, like helping young moms and just young teens, whoever it is, like build their life from there, right? So you kind of want to like help them try to build their credit, buy a house, like some stuff like that.
Because a lot of people don't think it's possible and they just don't have the resources.
Right.
And sometimes like being a certain, like I was born and raised in East Orange, New Jersey. And we just don't have, I'm not going to say we don't have, but people just don't know where to go to get certain resources. And they just don't see certain things in their futures. Some people are on like Section 8 or whatever it is. They may see themselves there forever because they're making $15, $16 an hour. Like how do you, so I don't even know if do people still make that? Like what is?
I think 20 is the minimum.
Oh, okay. But even at 20, it's just like not possible to survive today. Not even think about buying a house, you know, just like basic survival needs and knowing about credit and how to like start like purchasing your first home, or even if you want to get into investing or whatever it is, you know, like you definitely have to have a bigger picture. And like they always say, like your why has to definitely be bigger than money.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you have that, especially like helping people that like that, their everyday, it's the norm, right? They can't really see past that because their environment is there. So like kind of helping them bring them out of that environment and just being able to see like, okay, so many other things that they could do. Yeah. Especially in a world like this, like no one's stopping us but us. Right. Right. Like we are in full control of what we can
are
accomplish.
Our biggest, for sure. And like I was literally just saying this morning to myself, like life is literally nothing but our choices and our daily habits compounded. Yeah. And that's what you get.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
like
so
period.
True.
No matter like so if
choose wisely.
Choose wisely. Or even like just like who you're surrounding yourself with. Like changing the rooms that you're in. Yeah. You know, or like binge watching TV all day, or just doing a bunch of nothing. Like where do you think you're gonna be in 10 years? Like doing what you're doing today, where are you gonna be next year?
Yeah. That's something good for everyone to look at. Like look at your everyday, look at what you're doing Monday through Friday. Is that like leading you to where you want to be? Or is it just, or are you thinking you're busy work? Are you thinking you're being productive? But you're not?
Even like, and I'm not saying 9 to 5 may be for a lot of people. Like, but even like if you're in a 9 to 5 and you're making $25 an hour with the way that the economy is today and how things are just like increasing. If you're constantly going to this job every single day from 9 to 5 and then you get home and then you watch whatever show is on, I don't know, because I barely watch TV. Yeah. But where are you going to be next year? You're going to be in that same dead end job.
Yeah.
That's your life.
Yeah, you have to
your
really
habits.
sit down. Yeah,
and your day-to-day.
Yeah,
your choices.
Yeah, that's so true. Doing that and then figuring out like, okay, where is my true path? Where do I want to go for you? Not for what seemed like everything else is going on social media. Like, forget about all that stuff. Like, what makes sense for you? So that's good that you have your clear path, your vision, what you want to do. You're not going to derail from that, and you have your system and everything. So I love that. But I do I have a surprise question from Diary CEO podcast card. So I don't know, everyone's is different, but it's the last question for you to read.
What would you do if you closed? What type of print is this? Oh, what would you do if you absolutely weren't afraid? That's a good question. If I absolutely wasn't afraid, I would probably move out of New Jersey.
Really?
Yeah. I probably can't though because I have a 6-year-old and I had to share her with her dad. But I think I would just start over fresh. I would probably go somewhere like Arizona or somewhere where I can surround myself around the greats, you know? Yeah. And I would definitely start that community like now, like today. Because today it's not that I'm afraid, but it's just that I feel like I don't have the right resources, and like I said, I don't want to go into it in debt. So it's just things that I feel as though I have to clear up first, before I do that. Right. But if I was absolutely not afraid, I would still be doing what I'm doing today for the most part, but just more of it, and just doing like my goals. I would be doing them today instead of waiting for third quarter or next year, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. That is good. That was a good point. Yeah, I like those questions. That's the Diary CEO podcast. They have different conversation card questions. So that's really good because a lot of people aren't doing what they want to do because they're afraid. Exactly. Yeah. That was good. Well, where can people find more about you? Like, where you are on Facebook, Instagram, and where can they follow you? On all social media platforms, I am _Nakia S. Thomas. Yeah. And another one of my goals is my YouTube channel. Yes, so we're gonna get that up. So make sure you follow her Instagram so you can follow that. And that's all we have for today. So don't forget to click the link for Real Estate Done Right Community, and we'll see you guys soon.